Looks like I am live. I am live. I am live. Good morning, freedom marchers, freedom families, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. How y'all doing? It is Monday, January 20th, 2020, fizzle, 2025. Xander, what's good, nephew? How you doing? Queen Sister Cameron, how you doing? Y'all go check out her channel. Y'all check my sis channel out, man. My little kindred spirit over there. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? Freedom March, Freedom Family, Freedom Lover, Freedom Fighters. Welcome to Freedom's March, which will soon, in a few years, become Freedom's Landing. That's what's up, Xander. Donating plasma, that's what's up. That is what's up. I used to do that when I was running the streets. I was basically homeless, y'all. I was homeless for a good period of time when I was 16, 17 years old. And I used to donate plasma and blood to get a little extra money. You know what I'm saying? Your boy was homeless, in and out of group homes. I was always getting kicked out. That's another story. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning, man? Some interesting news coming from the White House. Interesting news coming from the White House. You know, your boy Joey B is no longer president. Joey B is no longer the president of the United States of America. That's what's up. Glad to hear it, Cameron. Spend time with the hubby. That is what's up, man. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so a parting gift from your boy Joey B was to do a preemptive pardoning of Anthony Fauci, right? Y'all know him as Anthony Fauci, but I know him as Anthony Fauci because that motherfucker right there, man, has been a fraud since the 80s, since the 70s, since the introduction of the so-called autoimmune disease known as HIV and AIDS. But that's a whole nother story in and of itself. Yes, Anthony Fauci has been given a preemptive pardon. This motherfucker wasn't even under arrest yet. This motherfucker hadn't even been charged or convicted of a crime. So how is it that he's getting a pardon? Help me understand that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. How do you pardon somebody that has not been even, hasn't even gone to court yet? Hasn't even gone through a trial? Yes, he went in front of, you know, the committee and all that shit in the Senate, right? He's been to Senate hearings and all that. But, I mean, those are not, like, official court proceedings, right? He hadn't been charged with a crime. So how is it that Anthony Fauci has been pardoned? Wow. They done dropped my views, huh? Okay. That just goes to show y'all, man, that they know that Anthony Fauci is likely a criminal. Because only criminals get pardons, right? Only convicted criminals get pardons. 22 Ronan Wood is good. Dirty business. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolute dirty business. Criminals get pardons, y'all. Criminals get pardons. So how is it that Anthony Fauci has been given a pardon? How is it not just him, but also the January 6th committee members, right? They have been given pardons as well from Joey B. Well, I know that they are placing the J6 committee members under investigation, including what's her name? I think is it John McCain's daughter, right? She was part of that. Now, the reason I'm not, alrighty then, here we go with the buffering, y'all. Here we go with the buffering. Anyway, Cameron says, like, giving a pardon for what could take place and come to light. Exactly. They have to set it up for Fauci to skate if it ever comes out that, well, you know, that he was funding gain of function research. Probably, most likely, you know, the algorithm will knock my ass down if I get too far into that. Funding gain of function research, which he vehemently said that he was not doing, but then it came out that he was doing it. So he then tried to word it to where it would lessen the impact of what he actually did. You know, did y'all know that Anthony Fauci was the highest paid government official? The highest paid government official, the highest paid government bureaucrat on the civilian side of the government, right? Did y'all know that? He was very handsomely paid by our tax dollars or extortion dollars. So this dude is getting a pardon before even getting a conviction. So what does that mean? Does that mean that if they do try to bring charges on him, that they're not actually going to do it because there's no point, because Joe Biden gave him a pardon? Is that what that means? That means nothing will ever come out. I want you guys to understand. If they had waited until Anthony Fauci got convicted before they gave him the pardon, well, that would mean that all this shit would come out in discovery. All kind of information. You know, they could try to redact a lot of shit. They could try to, you know, hide and classify certain things, but that would just let us know that, oh, well, these motherfuckers knew he was guilty. And there are a lot of people that are involved and aided and abetted in his guilt. So, in my mind, you give him a pardon now so that the investigation doesn't continue, so that they don't take him to trial, because there wouldn't be a point. Because if he got convicted, he would just go free anyway. So why even waste money trying to take him to trial? So that means nothing comes out. That means no information comes out about what he did exactly to get convicted. That's what that means. Same thing with the J6 committee, right? Same thing with Peter McCullough or whoever the fuck. You know who these people are. The elite class. What they call them? What they call them people? The old boy network. The old boy crew. The good old boy network. You ain't part of the big club, right? George Carlin has been saying that since the 80s and 90s. You ain't part of the club. You know, George Carlin was one of my favorite comedians because he could call out all the bullshit. He called out all the bullshit. That dude was the most anti-government entertainer I ever seen in my life, ever witnessed. And he was right. Everything that he said about how our government operates is accurate. Anthony Fauci is part of the good old boy network. So much so that he gets a pardon before anything is even done to him. Before a lengthy trial occurs, before any of that happens, they get to bury shit that could have come to light. I hope you guys understand that about what this means. This means that they can hide and continue to bury all the evidence, all the bones. They get to hide them. That is if those who intend on taking Anthony Fauci, oh my God, this fucking train, God damn it. Oh, fuck. Anyway, those who intend on taking Anthony Fauci, those who plan on trying to convict him, they might not even waste their time, because the dude is going to get pardoned anyway. Anarchy Television was good. Yeah, fuck, he should be in prison. Oh, okay. That was a quick little train. Okay. All right, no problem then. So, that's what this means. I hope you guys understand this. They will, they'll pardon a rapper here and there. They'll pardon a few black people and make it look like they're doing something. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll pardon some proletariat class members. You know what I'm saying? They'll do that. But those elite class members that have committed the most horrendous crimes in this country, they get to skate. Because make no mistake that if what they say is true about what Anthony Fauci did, he committed some of the most atrocious and insidious crimes against humanity. The very existence of that Modelo 19 bullshit, right? That's that invisible silent killer that really didn't kill that very many people. The one that they tried to attribute all these deaths to, when in reality, 6% of those deaths actually were attributable to Modelo 19. He was part of the directive. He gave the directive. He gave the guidelines that trapped people in their own homes for months and months and months, drove people into depression, drug abuse, spousal abuse, child abuse, the spike in childhood suicides, all that was part of that, because of the fear campaign that they spread throughout this nation. Most atrocious of the crimes were those suicide rates of those young children. That was driven up due to the depression of trapping children within their homes, where they cannot interact with their friends, where they cannot go outside and be children, where they were then told, if you breathe on your grandfather, you will kill them. They were driven into guilt by this fraud of a doctor, this Anthony Fauci. I take personal umbrage against Anthony Fauci because my 14-year-old nephew committed suicide during the Modelo 19 pandemic. Yes, 14 years old. He's about to be 15 years old. He committed suicide. Very devastating. 14 years old. Very promising young man. Strong. Athletic. Very intelligent young man from when he was a wee lad. Very intelligent. Very smart. Very kind. My kids loved him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't live in the same state as me, but, he lived in Ohio. But, he and his parents, my brother and his wife, they all had Modelo 19, supposedly. But they also had the jab. They also had the hokey pokey. And he was unable to interact with his friends and go to school. Not that I am a proponent of an institution. I'm not a proponent of the institution they call school. I'm not a proponent of that. But I am a proponent of socializing your children with like-minded children whose parents are like-minded. Yeah. Now, there may be something out there that may point to him not actually deliberately committing suicide. Just the circumstances around it. But because of everything that they push on your children, everything they see in social media, all these challenges, right? Let's just say challenges. That he might have been trying to do a challenge, right? And there was some, there was an accident, and he probably did not mean to end his own life. But because he was cooped up in that house, and they put all these challenges out there on the internet for your children to participate in, setting themselves on fire, doing all these silly things that can get them killed, because they can't go outside and play. They can't go and be human beings, be human children, to go out there and actually participate and as children. They're cooped up in the house and afraid, and want to take their minds off of what may be causing them depression. And so they might have a little bit more, less inhibitions to do silly things, right? But like I said, he was very intelligent, and we did not understand why, if this were the case, why he would do such a thing. Let's see what y'all talking about. Violent Thor says, these are not pardons. Well, exactly, Valiant. That's why I was saying, Valiant. How you gonna pardon someone who hasn't been convicted of a crime yet? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? I know. They're not pardoned. You can't pardon someone who hasn't been convicted. Sister Cameron, yes, it is. It was very sad. It's real sad. ABC Undisputed comes in here and says, respect for Haney for dropping the lawsuit. Now, ABC Undisputed, do you see anything about Devin Haney in the title? I'm talking about the so-called pardon of Anthony Fauci, the man who might be greatly responsible for millions of deaths, hundreds of thousands of small businesses being shut down for good, and a rise in inflation, a rise in child suicide, a rise in depression, a rise in spousal abuse, drug abuse. You're coming in here talking about Devin Haney. I understand that that I cover boxing to a degree, but I'm not talking about boxing right now. You can say what you want. I believe in free speech. I'm not going to have you blocked or kicked. You know what I'm saying? Say what you want. I'm just saying I'm not discussing Devin Haney right now. And I don't know that to be a fact that Devin Haney dropped the lawsuit. The first thing I want to hear is that Ryan Garcia signed up for 24-hour, 24/7, 365-day drug testing. That's what I want to hear first. When I hear that, then it would make sense for me to hear that Devin dropped the lawsuit. But as far as I know, he has not. Exactly, Sister Cameron. After politics, we talking boxing. No. First of all, this channel, right, is not a boxing channel. You understand? This is a freedom-minded and truth-minded channel where I don't just discuss boxing. I discuss politics. I discuss anti-government shit. I discuss the lies they push. I discuss all that shit, right? And I love boxing, so I will talk about that as well, about exposing the truth of boxing, about the politics and all the bullshit they push. But I'm not talking about boxing right now. We're talking about Anthony. This is more important, right? So anyway, yeah, I mean, say what you want. I mean, you can say whatever you want to hear, but Anthony Fauci should be up under the jail. As a matter of fact, if you look at 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242, all the rights that we are supposed to enjoy as human beings were violated during the Modelo 19 pandemic under the color of law, based on a lie they pushed about a so-called VI, I can't say the full word. As a matter of this live stream I might end up getting a strike. You might not see me for a week based on this video, just so y'all know. I might end up getting a strike for this, but I don't give a fuck. I'll get a strike, but Tim Pool and Dr. John Campbell and all these other content creators, all these other YouTubers that talk about this stuff, their channels will stay up. Mine, I'll get a strike. But it is what it is. I can't talk about certain shit like others can. Anyway, so yeah. Anthony Fauci is a criminal in my mind. And it just, when you give somebody a pardon who hasn't even been to trial yet, by a president who has access to all these secrets and all this information and all this evidence, that lets you know that the motherfuckers are guilty. They're guilty. They got pardoned because they're guilty of real crimes against humanity. That's what you got when you fucking with these motherfuckers. You are not part of the club. Whether you white, whether you black, whether you're a boxing fan, whether you're a goddamn whatever the fuck you are. If you are a member of the proletariat class of the United States of America, you are not part of the club. You are not part of the elite class. And make no mistake, black rappers and all these guys, you're not part of the elite class either. You're just the pawn they use to lead our people astray, to lead us down the wrong path. They'll use you, and when it's time to sacrifice someone to make an example of them for speaking out or for going against and trying to buck up and get what they call uppity, like Diddy, like Bill Cosby. I won't say R. Kelly. We know that motherfucker guilty for sure. Fuck R. Kelly. But y'all know who they will sacrifice your ass. Kanye West, they will make an example of you. Y'all thought Kanye West was an elite? No, sir. He went from a billionaire to a millionaire in 5 minutes. They will bring your ass back down low where they feel you need to be if you go against them. Dave Chappelle, exactly. He had to go to Africa. Anyway. ABC, I understand. I don't care about the president either. But the actions of these individuals does affect your everyday life. You don't understand that? It's not to just say, oh, well, I don't give a fuck about a president. I'm just going to turn a blind eye and just, remain in my ignorance. That doesn't help you. Even if you don't give a fuck about a president, it's important to understand what the executive branch, the level of power they hold, and who controls the executive branch. It's important to understand that. It's important to understand that the corporations, the bankers, and all that shit, they control the executive branch through what they call lobbying, right? Lobbying, special interest groups, all that type of shit. The monetary fund, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve are ran by civilian bankers. The money in this country is controlled, and the credit is controlled by the Federal Reserve, thanks to the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. It's important to understand all this shit, to understand your place in society, and to understand that you are a slave. ABC, by saying that you don't care about this shit, you are a willing slave. And if you want to remain a willing slave, that's up to you. Anyway, I got to get out of here and get my little workout in, y'all. Yes, Sister Cameron, we have to be aware. Facts. But anyway, I'm going to holler at y'all later. Get in here, get my workout in, and go on about my day. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And blessing to you, Cameron. We're going to keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. Peace.